In this use case, I want to understand how specific applications are performing. So to do this, I can run a quick report to get that information. So at the top, I'll click on Application. And the application I want to run this report on is our ERP web tier. So I'll just simply type in ERP, and it should pick up the application I want, which is right there. And I'll hit Go. So this builds an application information report specific to ERP web tier. So here we have a summary showing your average bits, peak, number of connections, and connection duration. As you scroll down, just more and more information. Here we're looking at traffic volume by received and sent. So you get an understanding of how the traffic is flowing. And as far as servers, here we're seeing all the different web servers hosting this application. We can see one web server 33, is taking much longer than all the other web servers. So we might have a potential issue with web server 33. As I continue down, we're going to see top 10 server hosts retransmissions. Now this is coming from our integration with App Response 11. We're getting this from packets, as flows simply doesn't give this retransmission information. So again, we can see how the servers are performing, any spikes or anomalous behavior. I'm going to show you average resets. This can be used from flows, so this is strictly NetProfiler. Continue on down, and now looking at how the connections are running. And again, they're pretty much straight across the board, nothing too extraneous there. Next, we can see the traffic breakdown by the server hosts. And here we can look at the different percent retransmissions. We can look at response times, and again, we can see one server is standing out, web server 33, taking over 4.5 seconds for the transmission. So certainly we could have a server issue. And if you look at the network response times, they all look normal, but certainly something in the server delay is happening with web server 33. So just from here, we could right mouse, go into a host info report, jump into Eternity. Again, you have many options to continue your troubleshooting when you do see some anomalous behavior. And now we'll move down to the client information. So here we see top 10 client peer host groups. So this is the clients accessing this ERP web app, and we can see most are pretty well normal. Then all of a sudden, the response time from Philadelphia spikes up right around between 12 and 12:10, so around 12:05. We had a spike in Philadelphia, so we can check that out to see what was going on. And then the actual active connections. How busy are these different clients accessing this ERP web tier? So you have a good understanding as to the performance there. And then we can see the associated table from the locations and percent retransmission. So again, San Francisco, seeing some network issues that certainly need some investigating along with the server delay. So something's going on there. And then the conversation table, so we can see how the web servers are talking to, who the clients are speaking with, and all the retransmission information, response times, and server delays. So it gives you a good visual as to where you need to focus your attention. And we also provide a connection graph. So we can zoom in and zoom out on this because this is really hard to read. So I'll edit the settings. And instead of showing top 100, I'm going to drop that down to 20, just so I can get more specific. And I'll go large. And you can change how the layout is also. So maybe you want to go symmetric. I hit OK. So now we can get a better understanding of who's talking to who. Again, these are all interactive, so you can click on one, bring up a host info report, go into Eternity, go onto a link. So you get a good understanding of who's talking to who, dependency mapping. And remember, the thicker the link, the more traffic or whatever metric you're using. You're looking at connection host pair here. So the thickness of the link dictates how much traffic is going through it. And as we continue on down, we can see that everyone's using the default DSCP marking. And lastly, traffic breakdown by network segment. So looking at the flow data on how it's being exported throughout this report. So that's what the application info report can provide to you. A lot of information on a specific application.